What's up everyone? For today's review, I'm not going to be looking at any games or video game related products like I would normally do. This time, I'm going to be taking a look at the Maddog magnetic tank bag made by Coleman. Now, if you're a fan of my channel, you'd know I'm big into motorcycles. I mean, shit, I have 3 bikes, and in the future, I will be making some motorcycle related videos every so often. If that's not your thing, then by all means, you do not have to watch these videos. At the end of the day, it is my channel, and I'm gonna do whatever I want with it, and ultimately, you have the right to just not watch whatever you're not interested in. So anyway, if you end up searching for this product online, you may come across another bag that is literally the exact same bag as the Maddog, but instead it's rebranded with the Paul Jr. name on it. For those who are unfamiliar with Paul Jr., he is one of the stars from the very popular show American Chopper. I can only assume that Coleman and Paul Jr. went into some sort of a partnership deal, considering the saddlebags and helmet bag that Coleman provide have also been rebranded with the Paul Jr. name on them as well. Kinda interesting, I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. That being said, this bag retails at full price for $49.99. However, you can find it cheaper if you shop around. The cheapest I've ever seen this bag go for is around the $32 price tag, both on Amazon and on Walmart's online store. I do want to point out that this bag does come with a handle. I cut mine off, which I will explain why I did so later on in this video, as it is pretty important. Alright, so let's talk about the storage capabilities of this bag. First off, you have this little pouch here that holds your included rain cover. Not much to say about it really. I mean, hey, it's a rain cover and it does exactly what it's intended to do. On the very top of the bag, you have this see-through pouch where you can place your phone or GPS. I have a Galaxy S9 Plus, which is somewhat of a larger phone. Unfortunately, the phone does not fit inside this pouch, unless I take off the cover, something I am absolutely not okay with doing due to the fact that I'm a bit of a klutz and I know that if I take off the cover, I'll probably drop the phone in the process. A major area of concern I have with this whole pouch thing is that when you have your GPS or phone inside, you don't have any sort of a viewing angle of the device while you're on the road. Anytime you need to figure out where you're going, you have to take your eyes off the road completely and look straight down to view your device. Needless to say, this whole process can be extremely dangerous unless you're at a stoplight or parked somewhere, especially in Michigan, where I live, since not only do our roads suck, but the drivers here are basically blind as well. It's just an accident waiting to happen. What I ended up doing in this case is I bought myself a cheap pair of earbuds and then connected them to my phone or GPS. That way I can at least hear where I'm supposed to go next. I never have to look down at my device if I don't have to. Now, what I thought was kinda odd is that this whole top piece is completely removable. I mean, it's nice if you have a reason to take it off, but the entire time I've owned and used this bag, I've never come across any reason to do so. I'm not sure why anyone would either. Then we have the main compartment. On the top part, you have a Velcro sealed pouch where you can put stuff like your wallet, insurance, registration, any other necessary documents you may need. You got another pouch here which doesn't have a Velcro seal. Kind of an odd decision not to include it if you ask me. I don't really know what to put here, so I just stuck a mini notepad here. Comes in handy from time to time, honestly. Then you got an area for pens, pencils, or even one of those pen-shaped tire pressure gauges fits here beautifully. The bag itself is perfect for storing typical things, or even the essentials, like your bike locks, gloves, your bike's toolkit, extra spark plugs, and hey, it even fits one of those pocket jump starters. God forbid you should ever need it. To give you guys somewhat of a better idea, the bag can hold 3 standard sized water bottles, and even then there's still a little room to spare. For me, the size of the bag is perfect. It's not too small to where you can't fit much of anything inside it, nor is it too big to where it just looks ridiculous on your bike. Next, let's talk about how you would mount one of these to your motorcycle, as well as some concerns I or others may have about the Maddog tank bag. Because it's magnetic, the install of this is quick and easy. You simply pull the magnetic flaps back and gently place it where you want on your tank. That's all there is to it. Although before you do that, make sure to brush off the fabric on the bottom of the bag. Why? Well, the material they used is like a dust magnet, so there's bound to be some random crap stuck to it, which may or may not end up damaging your tank. I have seen some complaints on Amazon where people were saying that the magnets didn't attach well to their tank and or while they were riding the bag was moving around on them. I have never had this happen to me on the half dozen bikes I've put this on. It's never shifted, moved around, or even attempted to come off while riding, and 4 out of those 6 bikes did not have windshields on them. So I can only assume this is happening to those people because whatever bike they have probably has a tank with a more complex, curvy, or unusual design to it. Out of curiosity, I did put this on the tank of my Kawasaki Versys, which does have a more intricate sort of design to its tank compared to my Yamaha Bolt or VMAX. Despite it looking a bit silly on this particular bike, I didn't come across any issues or concerns whatsoever. Another thing I want to point out is that my VMAX has an instrument cluster on the top of where my airbox cover sits. There's plenty of other bikes, mostly cruisers, that have some sort of instrument cluster on their tanks. For example, the Suzuki Boulevard and the Intruder, Yamaha V-Star, some Honda Shadow models, plenty of Harleys, and many other various motorcycles. Thankfully, the bag does not obstruct any of my meters or lights, as you can tell. Can't say for other bikes, but for the VMAX and the Suzuki Intruder, I can say firsthand it was never an issue. Unfortunately, Coleman does not make a version of this bag with straps. I'm not exactly sure why either, because many other tank bags on the market have both a strapped and magnetic version. For example, there's the Chase Harper 450, Tourmaster Elite 14L. Nelson Rig has both the CL 2020 and the CL 2016 Journey XL. So yeah, Coleman not having a version with straps is, well, to be totally blunt, a dumb decision in my eyes. Not everyone likes the whole magnetic thing, which I totally understand. Now regarding the handle, I noticed while I was riding the bike around one day that the handle would shift around and rub up against the airbox cover of the VMAX. I didn't really think anything of it at the time until I decided to wash my bike. Well, right where the handle was resting, I saw that it had left these very light scuff marks on the paint. Thankfully, I was able to get rid of those marks after a while, but still, it was very annoying that I had to do that in the first place. At the time, I was so pissed off that I immediately took a razor and cut off the handle entirely. I looked online and saw others having this same exact problem, but instead of cutting the handle off like me, one guy cleverly attached a piece of Velcro tape to the handle itself and the bag, so that the handle stays firmly against the bag and not touching the tank whatsoever. The last thing I want to touch on is the durability of this bag. Right away, I have a pretty major concern regarding the material that is used for the underside. So, they used a different fabric here, which is soft and almost spongy-like, sorta kinda like felt in a way. Well, already the material has started to crack, and in some areas, small pieces have begun to flake off. What really worries me is that the fabric is going to continue to degrade, causing the magnets to pop through and end up damaging my tank. It isn't a matter of if it will happen, it's more of when. And honestly, the moment I start to see a magnet pop through is when this thing hits the garbage. The bag is made out of 1680D fabric, which the package claims to be UV resistant and water resistant. Now, I actually took a moment and looked up what 1680D was. 1680D is what is known as denier ballistic nylon. It's very common in luggage bags, backpacks, belts, motorcycle jackets, and much more. Now, from what brief research I did do, 1680D does appear to be UV, water, and even mildew resistant, believe it or not. But just how water resistant is this bag? Now, I've never rode any of my bikes in the rain, nor do I ever plan to. However, I have an idea in mind. Right, so what I've done here is I've stuck some paper towel inside the bag as well as inside the plastic pouch on the top. I'm going to leave this thing on the balcony in the pouring rain for an hour or so to see if any water made it inside the bag. If the bag is truly water resistant like Coleman claims, then the paper towels inside should be, hopefully, totally dry or maybe just slightly damp. Something to keep in mind is that even if this product wasn't totally waterproof, you could always help make bags like these more resistant to water by simply spending a few bucks on one of those water-repelling sprays like you would often use for shoes or camping equipment like this product here. Plus, like I mentioned before, Coleman did provide a waterproof cover for this bag, so when in doubt, just use the cover. Alrighty, so that brings us to the point of the video where I give you guys my final thoughts on this magnetic tank bag made by Coleman. For the $30-something price, I'm not even sure how you could go wrong. Most name brand tank bags similar in design to the Maddog are going to easily cost double or in some cases triple the price. The only two major negative marks I could make towards this product are the questionable fabric that was used underneath the bag and its handle. I do have to question its long-term durability, and I do wonder how much longer it'll take before there's a major issue. However, keep in mind, I've owned this bag for 2 years now, and it's held up surprisingly well. Overall, I'm very happy with this bag. I do not have any plans whatsoever on upgrading to a Chase, Harper, or anything else until this bag has become too damaged to function. If you are looking into getting a magnetic tank bag for the first time and don't need anything super large or fancy, maybe give the Maddog a shot and see what happens.